Hey folks, Denny over at TheraThink here with another CPT Go guide, and today we are talking about group therapy. If you are not interested in learning the nuances of CPT codes, you can reach out to us at therathink.com/billing-service and we will help out. We'll help make it a little bit easier for you to go about your day doing the work that you need to do and preventing all of the headache and frustration associated with learning all sorts of numbers and letters that are billing jargon. But if you do want to learn a bit more about group therapy billing, feel free to listen on. All right, so this CPT code is going to be a code that is not time-based, but is based on the services that are being provided in the context around those services. So unlike individual outpatient therapy sessions that are time-coded, this is not based on time coding, but based on context and service. So as you can imagine, group psychotherapy sounds like what it is. It's going to be a psychotherapy group session for interpersonal interactions and support with several clients or patients. Typically, these sessions are going to be about 45 to 60 minutes. Oftentimes, though, they go up to an hour or two, hour and a half or 2 hours. A couple of things worth noting, these tend to be skill and topic based. So typically the reason that people are brought to a group session that don't know each other is based on a topic, a skill that they're going to work on, and not so much based on a random assortment of people that just can all be doing sessions together. These are sessions that are provided primarily by a clinician who is looking to focus clients on solutions around certain mental health problems that are skill based. So this can sometimes be things like anxiety or depression, maybe obesity or binge eating, panic disorders, maybe the loss of a family member, substance abuse, potentially chronic pain, things like that. Okay. Now, typically these sessions are between 6 and 10 clients in size. According to Medicare, a session should not exceed more than 10 clients. Then it becomes kind of unwieldy. But beyond that, Medicare does have specific guidelines around the number of folks in a group therapy session. There is no minimum technically, but it is worth noting that the reimbursement rate will be lower per client. So as a strategic suggestion for conducting services that are going to be worth your while, it's going to be most likely that you'll want to have a group of at least 3 people or more to make it worth your hour, hour and a half, 2 hours of time. You want to be paid at least how much you would be paid doing an individual therapy session for that time as a clinician. Now, of course, there are other reasons to conduct group therapy, even if it is for 3 people or less. Of course, it needs to be more than one, but um, in that case, yes, certainly that's appropriate too. There are some exclusions from group therapy based on Medicare's guidelines. Grooming skills, the daily monitoring of living activities, recreational therapy like dance, art, and play therapy, eating together, technically, excursions, social interaction, just chatting, travel time, right, to and from areas, um, self-help material, and uh, the prep based on the actual services that will be rendered. Those are excluded from group billing. So if you're conducting an hour of your time to prepare for your group session, you can't be billing for group therapy, for example. Now, plenty of folks probably do have some food or things like that in these different contexts. That's okay, but it's not the focus of these sessions. The focus is going to be that skill-based, problem-oriented work. A couple other things to note here. Some other CPT codes. 90835 is for group therapy. 90849, and a much more uncommonly used code that is not covered by Medicare, is for multifamily group therapy. Just worth noting that it's again something that frankly I really don't see having coded and helped with many claims, but it is worth noting. There are some add-on CPT codes for group therapy. These are going to describe not added length of session, because again, these sessions are not really time-based. They're skills and services based, but rather are going to describe the context in which these services are being rendered that are related to times, but not the length of time. So CPT code 99050, which can be used for many other base codes on top of 53. That's going to be for services that are provided outside of regularly scheduled office hours or days when the office is normally closed, right? So typically you're working Monday through Friday, but you decide to conduct a group just because it works best for 4 people who are going to be able to attend that group on a Sunday. You're going to want to use 99050 for that coding. And similarly, 99051, you're going to want to use that when you are providing services outside of normal business hours. That includes weekends, evenings, holidays. Use those codes. Those codes are descriptive codes, even if you don't get reimbursed for those codes. Those are important codes to use to most accurately describe the services that are being rendered over to these insurance companies. Using specified diagnoses, using add-on codes help prevent audits for medical necessity, but they do need to be accurate. If you're conducting sessions um, outside of normal business hours for one client, you probably do need to also be conducting sessions inside of normal business hours for other clients. They all can't be outside of normal business hours. Makes no sense. So that's something that would trigger an audit. Just worth noting. Again, over at TheraThink, we help with this. We help make sure to be coding these sessions as accurately as we possibly can. We're not trying to maximize your revenue. We're trying to be as accurate as we can be to prevent medical audits and do the ethical thing, which is describing these services. Now, as it turns out, being accurate, using the right add-on codes can sometimes increase revenues, but that's not our goal. Okay, time-based, we talked about this, but let's just go over it one more time. Typically, these sessions are 45 minutes to 60 minutes, oftentimes longer, oftentimes up to 90 minutes. But worth noting that those sessions here are not time-based. And then covered by Medicare. Yes. Reimbursement rate, you'll notice at the very bottom here, $30 a pop in 2022. So you probably want 3 clients per hour minimum to be able to make those sessions really make sense for you financially, right? Again, there are many other reasons to do therapy that are not financial, but it's always a good idea to make sure that you're going to be honored for the work that you're doing and reimbursed for the work that you're doing as well. License requirements, pretty much all licensed therapists can conduct these sessions, not an issue there. Authorizations, always a good idea to just call up and verify each client's insurance coverage, something we provide for free over at TheraThink in our billing service. Really important to do for many reasons, one of which is to ensure that when you're working with a new client, you can conduct group sessions with that client. And again, we talked about those coding recommendations as well, but the main thing here is going to be problem-oriented, skills-based, making sure you're not exceeding more than 10 clients, and strategically probably wanting to have at least a minimum of 3 clients in session with you. So that's it. Group therapy done. Now, again, if you don't want to do any of this, don't blame you. Over at TheraThink, we do help with all this stuff. We help you figure out what sessions to be billing, what CPT codes to use, the uh, the right number of clients, when to be conducting the sessions, um, etc. We're going to help take this off of your plate. For each time you do a group, if you do need to do eligibility benefits review, you're having to call for 8 people. That's a lot of time, and we help take that off of your plate. So if you would like help, we certainly would be happy to chat. Feel free to reach out to us at therathink.com/billing-service. It's a great place to find us online to talk specifically about your context with billing and speak with us over at TheraThink to see if we are a good fit. We might not be, but oftentimes we're able to help And this is the kind of thing that we're frankly experts at. A few other things to note too on the website for you folks that aren't looking for actual professional help but still want to learn a bit more. We do have a billing guide section here that's going to help you understand telehealth video, conference billing, beginner's guide for mental health insurance billing if you just are looking to get started and you want to tackle this on your own. CPT code guides that go down and drill down to each specific guide like this, as well as just big lists. There's a cheat sheet that I'll get to, and reimbursement rates. Speaking of the cheat sheet, under our tools section, we have a PDF printout cheat sheet you can download. Goodness. And as well as an intake form, CPT code and diagnosis finders, even a rate negotiation tool that you can click on certain things and fill in pieces of information. It will generate a letter for you to send over to these insurance companies. Use that tool. Everyone should be paid appropriate wages for this important work that they're doing. And you can also check out the insurance company rate comparison tool that we provide as well. Get a better sense of how these insurance companies are paying out. Feel free to reach out to us over at TheraThink.com if you found this video useful. Give it a like. If you want more content from us, subscribe. And until next time, thanks for listening.